Yo, what's up? Today we are talking about the runway strategy. That's what I'm calling it. And what it is how to escalate to sex in 5 easy steps. All right. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Kane. I'm the Silver Bachelor. This channel is 100% dedicated to dating advice for older guys. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Hit that notification button because I'm dropping a video every day. Let's get into this. All right. The runway strategy. That's what I'm calling it. And the runway strategy is how to escalate to sex. And I'm going to give you 5 steps. I was married for 20 years. I've been single for a little bit over 2 years now, and I have slept with quite a few women and many times on the first date. All right. Sometimes, on average, it's the second date or third date, but within a few dates, it's happening. So, the runway strategy, what I'm going to talk about specifically, is first date situations. All right. So, just going to preface something here though. There are a few instances where you're not going to be able to have sex on the first date with the woman. So I made a bunch of notes for all of you. And so a couple of those situations is, let's say she has children to go home to, right? So she's a single mom. I have dated single moms, or maybe she's on her period. She's not telling you that. But in my experience, women have to be very comfortable with you before they're going to have sex with you. While they're on their period, they're very conscientious of their cleanliness and scents and all that stuff. So, unbeknownst to you, you won't know if they're on their period, right? So, also, you don't know if she has to get up for work early in the morning. So, those are just some examples of how you don't know the background, and why you may not be in a situation that you're unaware to you to have sex with her that first night. Okay. So women are extremely good at planning. They will plan, you know what? I just started my period, and you won't know this. I just started my period on this day. So if I am going to get together with him and we might have sex, it's probably best we don't get together until this other day. But you won't know all of this. But women think ahead all the time. They have to. They have to plan putting tampons in their purse and stuff. Babysitters, this whole thing. They have to take time off work. All this stuff is happening in the background. Plus, they have to give time to themselves to put on makeup, look good. So, again, the times that I've had sex on the first date, unbeknownst to me, the stars have aligned because I wasn't aware of what might be happening in the background. All right, so let me get into this. So, number one, Number one is she has to be physically attracted to you, like duh, right? So that's the main thing. Let's say, okay, first date. We're talking about first dates. My perfect first date. What I like to do is I like to go to a restaurant and sit at the bar. And I've mentioned this in many of my other videos. I still do this. I sit at the bar. Maybe we'll get food. Most likely we're having drinks, and she's going to sit beside me. That's why I choose the bar, because she can sit beside me, we're closer, and it's easier for her to touch me. So I will say this: how you know if she's physically attracted to you and there's a spark is she'll start touching your arm, she'll laugh at jokes, and she'll say, oh my God, shut up. And she'll touch your shoulder, whatever. There's some gentle touching that happens, and that is a telltale sign that she's into you physically. Now, I have other videos where I talk about the things that you can do to look better and up your level up as a man. Like, obviously, I'm just going to take a side note on this about the physical attraction. Obviously, I encourage all of you to get to the gym and look better physically. Do it for yourself first, and then it'll help your dating game. Obviously, personal grooming. I keep saying this in my videos. My God, guys, you need to take care of your nose hairs and your ear hairs. Don't let those motherfuckers be hanging out. You need to not have a unibrow. Be well groomed and trim your beard. Don't have like scraggly hair. A big thing, man. Another thing about grooming that the women notice is your fingernails. Look, see, they're not dirty and they're clipped, they're short. So don't have long fingernails. Women hate that. And definitely don't have them dirty. Like if you're a handyman, just get one of those brushes or whatever. Make sure your nails are clean. So it's just I'm not going to go on and on about physical attraction, but if she's physically attracted to you, that's a positive sign and she will be touching. I remember one date, and this was the cutest thing. It has not happened to me yet. Um, Sometimes I'll wear jeans with holes in the knees, and out of the blue, she started putting her fingers through the holes in my knees on my pants and playing with my knees. I was like, oh my God, this is a good sign. Out of the blue, she touched my face like in a very adoring way. I thought, oh shit, this night is going to end good, right? Okay, so number one, physical attraction. Number two, scent. What do I mean by that? I mean, guys, you need to take care of your body odor. Wear deodorant, wear antiperspirant, take a shower. Don't go out on that date without showering. And most importantly, choose a good, high quality fragrance. Don't spray too much. I will do a video specifically on my top 3 or 5 fragrances that I have. I have a collection. You know, I have like from floral scents to woody scents to fresh scents. My go to, I will share this, is to go with kind of a fresh scent. So, Blue de Chanel is a crowd favorite. And I also like Allure Sport by Chanel. Allure Sport is actually my ultimate favorite because it smells like barbershop shaving cream, and it's a very masculine but yet floral scent, right? So scent, number two. Number three, emotions. So what do I mean by this? An emotional connection. So the emotional connection, you need to have a great conversation with her and a lot of laughter. Stop talking about yourself and how much you've succeeded in your businesses or how much money you have or your fancy car, whatever your hobbies. Focus the attention on her. Ask her about herself. I've mentioned this a few videos. FFW. So ask her about her friends, or excuse me, ask her about what she likes to do for fun. So that's the first F. The numbers 2F is about her family. Where's she from? Is her mother here? Her father? Her background? All that. And then number 3, the W, is what does she do for work, or what is her future plans for work? So keep the conversation going. Don't have any awkward silences. Keep the focus on her, because be genuinely interested in learning about her. Talk less and have a lot of laughter. One of my videos, there was a research study that laughter is the number one thing that attracts a woman to a man besides the physical. So number 3 is the emotional connection. So through conversation and laughter. Number 4 is right. I'm just looking at my notes here. All right. Yes. So number 4, this is something I do. This is unique to what I do. Is number 4, you need to find a way to talk about kinks. Yes, kinks. And you know exactly what I'm talking about, sexual kinks. But don't be weird about it. So, um, obviously all of us have a few kinks. And one of my kinks, I'll share this without getting into TMI stuff, is I like to play with hair. So this works every time, guys. Every time. The conversation's going great and all that stuff. And I say, there's one thing that I really find very attractive about you. And she's going to look at me like, oh, what's that? And I'll say, your hair. And the reason is because I have a kink with hair. Oh, man. All of a sudden, every woman, even if it's not the first date, if in your texting, you want to bring the conversation. Okay, you don't want to be friend zoned. This is what happens to friend zoning is it doesn't get sexualized in her brain. She doesn't see you as a potential sexual partner. So she's going to friend zone you. And how you avoid, one of the ways you avoid that is you start building sexual tension by talking about sex. But again, not in a creepy way, not in a weird way. So what I do, one of the things, is I try to bring in one of my kinks. And the safest one I bring in is the hair one. And then she will be intrigued. She'll want to know more about it. So you're probably wondering, what the hell is this kink about hair? Like, what is this? So I like to play with hair and I like to brush hair. It's a kink. It's not a fetish. There's a difference. So her eyes are going to light up. She's going to ask me why. And then you want to flip it back over to her and say, so what would be one of your kinks? And then she brings up a kink. Next thing you know, your conversation is now centered around kinks, which is an amazing thing, which is the fourth thing and most very, very important to build that sexual tension in her mind. Remember the runway strategy. The runway strategy is like a plane. It gradually builds up at speed and then takes off, right? That's how women work their mind when it comes to sex. Men can just get it on. They need something like a runway strategy, right? So number five is all about the touching, but you can't just grab her. Women are not into grabbing, like very rarely, unless you're in a relationship and you have this fantasy thing or whatever. But so the touching, all right, I'm going to get into details on this one. So this is going to be a longer video because it's important. So, and I'm just keep referencing my notes. So the touching, it all has to start with she's touching your arm, right? You're not obviously going to go right in and grab her breast. So you can gently touch her hand to start with and say, "Oh, you have really pretty nails." And you reach over and you grab her hand gently and look at her nails, play with her fingers a little bit. And then from there, you can then touch her arm, right? From there, you're touching the shoulder area. As you're up around the shoulder area, you're going to see that she's more and more comfortable with it. Now, obviously, if you're in a restaurant, you have more limitations. But so now, okay, so now you're at the restaurant, right? And there's some touching, there's some playfulness, and you agree to have a nightcap at your place, let's say, or she's inviting you to her place, whatever. You need to go to either your place or you're going to go to her place. So now that you're at her place or your place, and you have a drink, you're sitting beside her, you keep the touching going, but very, very subtle, gentle. The hands, the arms. So, for example, like no secret, I shave my arms because I like to, and some women are into that, some women are not. That's okay. But the ones that are, they will start touching my arm and say, "Oh, your arms are so smooth. I like that." And or you have big muscles or whatever, right? So then I will exchange the. I'll do the same thing with her. I'll touch her arm, especially if she has tattoos. Oh, that's the easiest, man. Because you go in and you start touching the tattoo and like, oh, that's great. That looks really good. So you start with the hands, the arms, the shoulders, and then you're not even kissing at this point, but you're just being playful, you're being gentle. You need to start moving your hand around the back of her neck and her hair because if you say you like to play with hair, now you're playing with hair, you're talking, she's closer to you, you're closer to her. Now, when you lean in and you start kissing, that's that's the time where now you need to be careful with the kissing and the touching because again, it's a gradual thing, right? It's been in my experience with the kissing, what really turns the woman on is you spend a lot of time with your hands around the neck area and the back of the head and the hair, no hair pulling yet, and then you turn from the kissing, you start kissing the neck and the ears, and now you can start to move your hands towards her waist and her breasts, and then around the groin area outside of the clothes, right? And you're kissing, things are getting more heated. Now, I will say this, the number one sign you're going to have sex is when your hand She allows your hand to go under the clothes and especially under the pants. So once it's under the pants, it's game over. When it's skin to skin, it's game over. So I'll leave you with that. That's the fifth thing. The fifth thing is the touching, and the touching, remember, the runway strategy. The runway strategy is gradual over time, and it all starts before the touching. Remember, I said four things before the touching. So just quick recap. Number one, physical attraction. Number two, your fragrance or your scent. Number three, that emotional connection that she needs. Number four is talking about the kinks. Then number five is the touching. All right. Let me know what you think about this video. What's worked with you? What do you think of this runway strategy? And